Hello and welcome to the Triple Take. I'm Michael, and as always, I'm joined by Jane. And today is a special day because today we're being joined by Emil.
Hi.
We're going to be talking about Deadpool and Wolverine in detail. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't watched the film, go watch the film first. Very, very important that this film isn't spoiled for you. Watch it and then come back and take a look at this review. So, hi guys.
Hello.
How you doing?
Very well.
Very, very well.
First question for you.
Wow, already? Okay, we're doing this.
I love this film. Mm-hmm. Did you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, I mean, we sat next to each other in the cinema and we were all jumping up and down and clapping and screaming. So I think unequivocally, yes.
Like the audience was going wild in this film.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's very rare that you go to a screening and you see that level of excitement and that level of applause so frequently throughout the film. It's like normally you get it maybe at the end of a good film or in a key moment, but it's like every 10 minutes people are going crazy.
Yeah.
So like very, very interesting experience, and because of how dense and interesting and comedic the film was, I want to go through it bit by bit. So like if we go to the start, the opening sequence where you see Deadpool approaching the grave of Wolverine from the film Logan, and me personally, I'm wondering at first, are they going to mess up the end of Logan? Because that was such a great film.
Yeah, it was a brilliant film.
And there was potential here for them to just like go to the end of that film, which ended perfectly, and then just mess it up by having Wolverine being alive in the grave. Yeah. And they got around that. How did you feel about that opening sequence?
I'm going to let you go first.
Oh, okay.
I'm always talking on this.
That's the whole idea. It's not a silent cast. Anyway, no, I like the beginning of the film. I thought it timed it off really well. I was a little worried on how they were going to make the story work. And I think they found a really, really, really good way of working it. To be honest, the beginning, I was just like, just get to it. I was like, all right, cool, we're there. That makes sense. But it's everything that happened after that was really exciting for me. Yeah, man.
I was very concerned. As you know, I'm very highly critical about MCU and their nonsense and the fact that they've ruined it.
Wait.
For a while.
Yeah, nonsense.
Sorry, She-Hulk?
That was nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
I rest my case.
Okay.
No, we're not talking about She-Hulk. We're not doing that. This is about Deadpool and Wolverine.
So what you're saying is because of She-Hulk, because of the Marvels, because of the Eternals.
He said the M word. We don't mention that.
So what you're saying is because of these films that may, put the MCU in a kind of different light to speak.
I don't trust Marvel.
Okay.
I don't trust them. I don't trust Disney Marvel, and we know my thoughts about the Acolyte. I always have to get that.
Why do you always have to bring Star Wars into it?
Because I have to.
Why do you always desecrate Star Wars?
Because you want to be positive and all happy, sunny and light, and I'm the truth teller in amongst all of this. So what I'm going to say is, I was very concerned.
So angry.
Yeah, well, we're not going to do that. We're not going to make me out to be the angry black woman. That's not what we're going to do.
Can you just be an angry woman then?
Yeah.
I mean, I just happen to be black though, innit? I loved it. I absolutely loved the beginning scene. With Deadpool dancing to Backstreet Boys, just pure violence, pure utter gutter violence, and I love that. We saw blood moving in slow motion. He was using Wolverine's skeleton as weapons. Oh, when he snapped off his claws, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how bloodthirsty I was until that entrance.
Yo, I saw it yesterday again in 4DX, and when there's blood on the screen, they spray water in your face.
No way.
Okay, we need to go and see that in 4D.
I think I want to do that. Yeah. I was worried at the start because I was like, is this too much violence at first? But like, I think what they did cleverly was they put that it was Backstreet Boys, right?
Yeah, it was Backstreet Boys.
Backstreet Boys music over it, and it made it feel jovial. It made it feel comedic. And then you've got like him dancing to it, and he was dancing really well to it.
Yeah.
He had that routine down.
Yeah, he did. He did. And that's what I love about that film, is that it is pure violence. It's just awful and disgusting. Yeah. But that is
It's
Deadpool.
R-rated. It's R-rated.
That's Deadpool. Deadpool is violent, but he's the merc with the mouth. That scene encapsulated who his character is.
So they put their best foot forward to begin with. And although they did dig up Wolverine, they desecrated his body, but they didn't desecrate his story because he was still dead. Yeah. So they had to go and find another Wolverine. Yeah. One thing I didn't mention as well is the TVA is who he's fighting. And I saw you get really excited in the cinema. So I take it you're a big fan of Loki.
Of course, that's my favourite Marvel character.
Oh, okay, right.
For real? Is that your favourite one?
Yes, of course. He is the centre of the universe. He is single-handedly holding all the timelines together right now at this moment of time.
Honestly, Emil, I'm also a huge fan of Loki.
He found his purpose.
So well with glorious purpose. They did so well with that series. So seeing the TVA again, I was excited. Good. Not as visibly excited as you when you were jumping out your seat and pointing at the screen. But it was nice to see them again. They had slightly different uniforms.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
They didn't have the TVA branding on the side.
Right.
It wasn't, which made me think, sorry, I'm always going off piste, which made me think this isn't the TVA we know from Loki. This is like Paradox, which is the guy who's running the show, a little side thing.
I think that this is the all new TVA because you remember when Loki actually pulled the timelines together, they stopped pruning timelines now.
That's true.
Now they're looking after timelines. So I think this is the all new TVA.
Okay.
And they went in the budget and got the guys new uniforms.
Makes sense.
Before they got killed.
Makes sense.
It's true because Disney probably spent a lot of money buying Fox. So
yeah.
We had to change up the uniforms.
Okay.
So then Deadpool goes to... We go back in time to see where it all started. And you see Deadpool and his friend Peter, who later we discover is Peter Paul, arriving at his house to have, was it a birthday party?
It was a birthday party, yeah.
And in that scene, we see all his former friends. So you see like Negasonic, you see Peter Paul, you see his girlfriend, whose name I can't remember. I can't even remember her name.
Doesn't matter.
Vanessa, thank you. And a few other people. It's Kamiko and the lady that he lives with.
Oh, yeah.
Blind Owl.
Yeah.
And Colossus.
Blind Owl, that's it. And Colossus as well. And that was nice to see that like those people are all still there for him.
I like that.
But his life has changed.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the way his life has changed? And Jane, can you explain how you interpreted the change in his life?
Okay, so first what I would like to say about this movie and that scene in particular is this is a Deadpool 3 movie, but I loved the way that it was, obviously it's Deadpool and Wolverine, but it is Deadpool 3 and we were reminded by that in that scene when they brought back those characters, and so I liked that. I thought it was really interesting that he had a little hairpiece going on, he had a very boring job, and he was just trying to live an ordinary life. That's what we were led to believe in that scene. I love the fact that Blind Owl was there. She's my favourite character in the films. She's just, her jokes are hilarious.
And she went into her descriptions.
Oh yeah.
What, of cocaine?
Of the different names she had for cocaine, and she has so many.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was absolutely quite ridiculous.
She called it White Girl Interrupted.
Yeah, I don't get that one. Yeah, I don't get that one.
I missed out a scene though. So we had the scene with Happy Hogan in the office where Deadpool is trying to become an Avenger. Now this is key to the film. So basically what we learn in this scene is that Deadpool wants to have a purpose. Right? He wants to be something and be important because his girlfriend
wants to matter.
Say again, he wants to matter. Exactly. His girlfriend doesn't feel that he doesn't feel that he matters to his girlfriend anymore, and he needs a purpose. So he tries to join the Avengers, and Happy Hogan tells him that the reason you can't join the Avengers is because you need to be an Avenger, and to be an Avenger, the Avengers the people need to need you. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah.
So he needs a situation to happen. For him to be necessary to the world. And then as he's making a wish, blowing out his candles at the party, there's a knock at the door. So I'm guessing he wished to have a purpose in this world. And sure enough, there's a knock at the door and the TVA at the door.
Yeah.
what?
I'm just laughing because when he comes to the door and he sees all these TVA officers, he's like, I've done pegging before. I can handle this. Like I'm ready. Just be nice and kind to me.
What's he say?
He says, let's go up the hall to avoid clean up on shithole 19.
He goes, pegging is new to Disney. Friendo.
Yeah.
And then looks at the camera. Funny, very, very funny.
So many very dirty jokes in this film.
Oh yeah.
But also when he's talking to Happy Hogan, he's like questioning why Happy Hogan's doing the interview. Because he's like,
hilarious.
It's like, aren't you the chauffeur?
Yeah. Aren't you the driver? Like, what are you doing? And what I loved about that scene is around the office, you had the gift that Pepper had given to Iron Man when she put his heart, what's the silver light thing in the box that was on the desk. You saw Captain America, the shield. It was obvious he was working for the Avengers. Like there was no confusion about who Happy was. And I feel like even though this film is a standalone film, I think to truly enjoy it, you do have to be a Marvel fan. Like this film was made for Marvel fanatics.
100%.
Because if you just came off the street and was just like, okay, well, why is everyone laughing? And who's Happy Hogan? And what's that shield? And what's that? You wouldn't have got it. You needed to have pre-existing knowledge.
Yeah, definitely a fan film.
Yeah,
definitely
it was.
Film
They
for
did
the
it for
fans.
us.
Yeah.
There was a lot of inside jokes, not just for the people who's watched the films.
Yeah.
But also for people who read the comics.
Yeah,
definitely.
So like there was a lot of it, like even if you've watched the films, you're not getting bits because they're too inside jokes.
Yeah, but saying that, there were a lot of jokes that if you are a celebrity fan, you would also get as well. So when Ryan Reynolds says to Hugh, basically, you needed to do this because you've just had your divorce.
Yeah.
Like you would have got that if you are into popular culture and you follow celebrities.
That was like really like close to the mark though, because he's just got divorced.
Well, that's how it go, innit? Money off a make.
Like he was probably getting divorced while they were filming.
Literally.
And they put a joke about his divorce into the film.
Cold.
It was.
But like it was funny.
It was, and this film was a lot about making fun of itself, and that's what I liked. I loved the fact that we were continually mocking Marvel, as we all do anyway, and the fact that they were doing it themselves means thank goodness you guys are actually self-aware about the nonsense that you lot are doing. Do you know what I mean?
But
we've joined at a low point. They actually said that.
Saying that though, do you know what other Marvel product is also self-deprecating?
Yeah, that's true.
She-Hulk, your favourite, does the same thing.
I know, but not as well as it did.
Oh no, nowhere near as well.
Nowhere near.
Nowhere near.
And you're not going to pay attention in She-Hulk because it was a female Hulk twerking, for crying out loud. Why are we doing that?
Can't she not twerk?
Listen, I wasn't looking at the
I didn't realise this was the misogyny take podcast.
Oh wow, we're going to do this.
Women aren't allowed to dance.
Listen, you know what? Let me stick to Deadpool and Wolverine, right? And let's not have two men ganging up on the one woman on the panel.
No, it's not
How
that.
about
It's just,
that?
if you look at the screen right now, they're going to put some twerking on there.
No, they're not going to put anyone twerking. Why don't you two twerk? How about that?
Really?
How about
So
that?
that's your
So
argument.
men are allowed to twerk, but women aren't. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying,
Wow.
in my universe, on this
Wow.
timeline, that's what I'm saying.
So much prejudice here.
Anyway, back to the
let's
film.
get back to Deadpool, yeah. So then we meet Paradox.
Yes. Love the name, by the way.
The name is very cool. What did you feel about the character?
Let's ask our guest.
How did I feel about Paradox? I felt that Paradox was a typical English villain that they pulled in, and he was fine. He wasn't really.
It wasn't a standout at all.
No, not at all.
I feel
they
like
just needed a vehicle to create the quest to have the story.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You
just needed
he could have been anyone, really.
yeah, I don't think he really added a lot to it other than the fact that he was there to say, this is what's happening. The world's going to be pruned, or however he wanted to say it. And then one of the bits I liked the most in the film was when you see the character in Deadpool, where he's being offered all these things. He's going to join the Avengers. He's going to be a superhero, everything he wants, but his world has to die. And that's when you see his character. It's like, no, doesn't matter what I want more than anything else. I've got to save my friends and I've got to save my world. And this is where he gets his purpose.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I have thoughts about that.
Go on, what's your
I
thoughts?
loved the film. That was the thing. There was two things I didn't really like about it. I didn't feel the stakes were high enough. I don't feel like they leaned into that enough for me personally. Like, oh, your world is coming to an end. I don't feel like they made that feel like a thing that was going to happen imminently.
Yeah.
That's how that felt to me. Like personally, I don't know about you guys, but that to me just wasn't made they could have made a lot bigger deal out of that. Like
Paradox did explain that he's going to escalate the timeline and make it happen.
But Paradox was a flat actor. Do you know what I mean? And so that wasn't delivered correctly enough.
Right.
What I did like though is when
you needed him to twirl his moustache.
Yeah, come on, we needed you to lean into that a bit more. But I love the fact when he's like, I'm going to be Marvel Jesus. Like we saw all the previous Avengers up on the screen, and I really liked that. But then it was like, oh, your world is going to end, so you need to do something about it. It just didn't feel like there was enough stakes.
Do you know what I got from that is that he said, I am, like how Tony Stark says, I am.
Yeah.
And you're waiting for him to say Deadpool the same way Tony Stark says, I am Iron Man. He goes, I am Marvel Jesus.
The Messiah.
Very funny, very funny. So then we get this montage. There was a montage of him looking for different Wolverines. So just to explain, basically the reason Deadpool's world is coming to an end is because that world's Wolverine has died. And in each multiverse, I guess, there's key figures where if those figures are gone from that multiverse starts to collapse back in on itself and eventually die. And this Paradox character wants to speed that up.
Yeah.
So basically, Deadpool gets in his head that I just need to go and get a Wolverine.
Yeah.
So he shoots for all the different multiverses looking for Wolverines, and he's getting killed left, right, and center by them. But they're all very different. And this montage shows a lot of comic book accurate
And I love that. I love that.
And different actors and different elements from the films and stuff like that. What was your favorite Wolverine that you saw when he was going through?
The one on the casino with the patch.
Whose name is Patch?
Yeah. I love that was the best one for me.
Okay.
And that's what made this film great. They really did take things from the comic books, and this is what we're saying. It was for the fans. You're paying attention, Marvel.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for doing that.
Yeah.
And so it was great. In amongst everything else, that for me was one of the best things about it, is that you leaned into the comic books.
What about you, Emil?
I like the really short Wolverine because that's actually as far as he's supposed to be.
Yeah. He's only meant to be like 5 foot nothing.
5'3", I think.
Whereas Hugh Jackman's 6'3". Like, he's meant to be
tiny.
But it kind of did show the ridiculousness of fans always saying, yo, why don't we have a comic book accurate Wolverine? Now you see, it looks kind of silly, right?
It looks stupid, apart from when he's in the yellow suit. You didn't like the...
No, I like the yellow suit.
Okay, come on.
Hold on, wait, the 5'3"
Yeah, the
Wolverine
5'3" one wasn't in yellow suit.
No, I'm talking about actual Wolverine when he was in the...
Oh, no, I was talking about the short one.
Okay,
It was ridiculous. My favourite one was the Henry Cavill one because they said the funniest thing. They said, we'll treat you better than the guys down the street treat you. That was such a jab at DC. And they got away with it. Yeah, they got away with it.
They got away with a lot here. A lot.
Yeah.
So then after that, he comes back to the TVA, and the TVA explain like, no, that's not how you're going to fix this. Paradox just wants the world to end.
Yeah.
So he sends them to the void, which again, going back to Loki for you, Jane, we're back in the void.
Yeah.
Now,
Wasteland, Mad Max kind of vibes.
and then I would say like the biggest moment of the film happens when they get to the void.
Oh, definitely. That was probably... Sorry.
You know what I'm talking about.
Exactly. Because when they said they found the person, they bumped into the person who stopped them fighting, and then they spoke, and he said he's going to say it, and he's going to say it.
Takes his hood off.
He takes his hood off.
But before you see him take his hood off, you see his wrist, and you see red, blue, and white.
Oh, yeah.
So we're getting excited. All three of us would like this in the cinema.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I didn't see
I
that.
saw
It
that.
wasn't until he took his hood off, and I was like, it's Captain America.
Yeah, we were like, it's Captain America, and then it was...
It was Johnny Storm.
Switcheroo, yeah.
But I love that though. I love that.
I had no idea he was going to do that. And I was like, wow. I think that was the first biggest reveal for me.
Yeah, it was.
And then, but the whole void, when you watch the whole void, you see all the different things. Because what you realise, they're all driving cars, right?
Yeah.
They're driving the Fantastic Four-mobile.
Yeah.
They're driving the Red Skull car as well from Captain... And they're driving all the different cars from all the different films and all the characters that are left over.
The Fantastic... I want to say the Fantastic car. Is that right?
I don't know.
Looked ridiculous in live action. They need to change that for the film, right?
It looks stupid.
Yeah. When the Fantastic Four film comes out, they must change it, right?
I hope so. But what was great about The Void was all the different relics as well, like you're saying, from the different movies. The thing was the massive Ant-Man costume that was used.
Before we even got to that, there was a massive 20th Century Fox logo buried in the sand. So they're saying like, we're throwing away the Fox universe. This Fox
100%.
universe has ended now.
Yeah.
This is where it's ended up. And someone pointed out to me that the X in the 20th Century Fox logo is above the sand, so it looks like an actual X for X-Men. That's bringing you into the fact that we're going to get X-Men in this film. Oh, obviously we've got X-Men.
Yeah, we've got Wolverine. Yeah, it's just like, what? Yeah, we've got Wolverine. Yeah.
And then he gets taken to that base that you were talking about, with this made out of Ant-Man's skeleton. I would say Giant Man, because he's Giant Man.
He was massive.
Yeah.
Right, and then somebody comes out from the back. And I saw you in the cinema getting really excited, like you knew who was going to come out.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Xavier.
Oh,
that's why I started to get excited.
Yeah, because they came out in a wheelchair.
They came out in a wheelchair.
They came out in a wheelchair.
They came out in a wheelchair. So I was like, no way, Patrick Stewart's in this film. Like, how? This is amazing. And then it wasn't.
But it was his sister.
Yeah. It was his
But saying
sister.
that though, she did really, really, really look like, what's his name? I thought. She looked like a female version of
Patrick Stewart.
not Patrick Stewart, Xavier.
Yeah,
What's his name that plays Xavier though?
Patrick Stewart.
No, he's the old one, younger one.
Young one.
Oh, the young one.
McAvoy.
James
McAvoy,
McAvoy.
yeah.
Definitely. I
But
think
do you know who I thought was coming out? I thought it was going to be Renslayer from Loki. Because remember at the end of the Loki series, she was left there in the void. So when I saw you jumping around, I was like, is it going to be Renslayer? And then I saw this bald-headed lady from I'm like,
not Renslayer.
who is this?
Who was mad freaky, like
why is
putting her
James so
fingers
excited?
through people's hair, like, I was like, oh
that was
my
like-
god, like, and the special effects for that was so slick.
They
Oh
did it
my
really
days,
well,
it just looked real. Like,
when she's
and
reading
I was
lines-
like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
She said she said something to do with it, like I have to get my hands dirty when I'm reading minds. I'm not like my brother.
Yeah.
But that visual effect, they did
Yeah.
really well for
Excellent.
that, because I felt it.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I felt
Get your
that.
hand
I
out my head.
Yeah.
And
That was good.
we've just skipped over the fact that Wolverine and Deadpool actually had a fight before that.
No, they fight all the way through
Yeah,
the
but
film.
they fight all the way.
Yeah,
All the way
but that was
through
like their first fight. And he said,
Yeah.
like, you've been waiting how many years for this moment?
Yeah.
That was a great fight.
Yeah, that was a great. But there was so many great fight scenes.
There
But
was.
what I like is that I am a massive Wolvie fan. Wolvie was true Wolvie. He was doing everything you wanted him to do, as we've all been waiting for him to do. Be his gritty self and just fight.
Yeah,
dirty.
he was very stabby.
Yeah, he was.
He was very
stabby.
And what I like about
He
that,
was using his swords and he was using his guns, but he also kept saying like,
oh, Deadpool.
Yeah, Deadpool.
Yeah.
He kept saying baby knives.
Every time he put out
he was
enough,
using the
baby
little
knives.
knives. Yeah. And so I really liked the fact that when they were fighting each other, it felt even. They felt evenly matched. It was
Yeah.
just going on, and you knew that would
They
go on
can't
forever.
die.
Yeah, 'cause they
Neither
both
of them
can't
can
die.
die.
Had it not been for the fact that Captain America / Human Torch shows up.
Yeah.
So remind me, how did they get away from Cassandra Nova?
When Goliath came, he kicked that leg of that machine, which I think might be a Sentinel or something else.
Right.
And they jumped on that and they escaped.
Oh, they flew away?
Yeah.
They flew onto like a
They
hill
flew onto
or
a
mountain.
leg and they crashed onto the mountain.
Yeah.
And that's when they met pretty, what's his name? Nice Paul.
Nice ball.
Nice
Yeah.
Paul.
Nice ball, yeah.
Who was very funny as
And
well.
who can die.
Yes.
He does not.
He can
he does not
very
regenerate.
die.
There's
He
a
does
moment
not
in the film
regenerate, no.
where he just gets shot to death.
Yep.
And,
I won't lie, I'm not a fan of the dog though.
oh,
Dog
That
Paul.
was
Dog Paul
unnecessary, and I didn't like it. It was just so
No,
unnecessary.
but it's the way he kept licking it with his mouth.
But he loves that.
and he was licking it back.
Yeah.
he was licking the dog.
That made me
Listen, I don't
Between
know
the
about.
fingers and all the licking, I was like, nah.
my people don't let dogs lick them on the mouth. My people don't let dogs lick them on the mouth. I don't like, so that for me, I was watching that thinking,
Yeah, that was
why are you
mad.
laughing at?
That's what people might call
My
what
people.
Normal people.
Whose people?
Normal people.
What's it classify the people?
I'm saying the people.
down
I'm saying
dogs.
the people I know don't let dogs
Okay.
lick them on the mouth. So
Okay.
when I was watching it, I was just like, oh, that's nasty. It was bothering me,
Yep.
and the dog was ugly.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very ugly.
it's Britain's ugliest dog.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it actually
for real?
was known as an ugly dog.
Apparently, it's Britain's ugliest dog. Yeah.
And
did
now
not
they're in
know
a
that.
Marvel film.
Now it's a Marvel
Wow,
film.
okay.
And it was really ugly. Okay, so they're proud of how ugly the dog was. They
Yeah,
chose
no, the
it.
dog was very
And
biased.
it's like, why was the dog's tongue so bloody long as well? Like,
It was hanging out his mouth the whole time. We're talking about this dog a lot, right?
Long tongue.
No, but the dog was literally the most off-putting part of the film.
It was.
Yeah,
and
I could
it was very prominent as well.
do without the dog.
And they could have removed the dog. But saying that though, it's still a very good film. And yeah, for me as well, it's just the little win bits. Because the references he kept saying, like they kept going through all the other Ryan Reynolds films.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah.
So, what's his name? Pretty Paul? What's his name?
Nice Paul.
Nice Paul. Gives them the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Honda Odyssey. I still don't know why they kept talking about
Honda
Honda.
must be in a low point themselves. So
Maybe.
Why did Honda?
He kept saying it as well.
Give them the car for the film and let him talk so much
And
dirt
smash
about
up the car as well.
I don't know why. It's proper. Oh my god! And one of the best scenes for me is the fight between Deadpool and Wolverine in the car.
In the car.
That was amazing.
So you like that?
Yeah, I did. It reminded me of that scene. I can't remember the film, but I know one of you will. When Captain America is in the lift and he kills everybody that's basically Winter Soldier.
Right, yeah.
Winter Soldier. It kind of reminded me of that, having combat in a confined space.
Right.
I loved
Gotcha.
that.
Yeah,
and plus it was creative, right? Because you're in a small space.
Yeah, he used to
using the
seat belts
and
and
Using
the
the
headrests and all
seatbelts,
that,
and then they
yeah.
fell asleep. That was
Because they've been fighting all night.
All night.
No, I think it went 2 days because you saw the daylight, then the nighttime, then the daylight again.
It kind of was like, you know what, I was going to say something. Let me keep that to myself. Just
Please do. Please do.
And then this takes us to they're rescued by somebody, they don't know who brings them to a band of rebels. This again was one of the greatest points in cinematic history.
Listen, everyone was like on the edge of their seats.
No, as cameos go, I think that ranks as the joint best.
It's up there.
Joint best for me. Joint best reveal.
It's up
Right.
there
Because I had no idea.
All I care about is the one person that was revealed.
Yeah.
So first of all, what's her name with the swords?
Elektra.
Elektra comes out and it's like, hey, wow, reveal.
And the thing, you know what I loved about the cinema we were in as well, sorry to cut you, is everyone got excited for the right person. Do you know what I mean? We all got excited for the right person.
Yeah.
Because that is the godfather of Marvel. If it wasn't for him,
They would
there would be no
crash.
Marvel.
So like, I think I know who you're talking about.
I hope you know who I'm talking about.
Because I hope you're talking about the same person I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
okay, I'm talking about Blade.
Of course.
Okay, when that happened, people stood up in the cinema and were clapping, and I was like, yes, he is back. Oh my God.
People were dancing.
Yeah.
Listen, because it was a celebration. I felt like I was in Wakanda. I was like, yes, all the black people were clapping. Come on, you know we were all like, oh my God. To hell with Jennifer Garden, Wesley Snipes.
Jennifer
Garner. Like everyone knew, like Wesley Snipes is back.
Right.
And all the jokes that he made as well about, there's only one Blade.
Before that, he says to Ryan Reynolds something about I've always hated you, which was a callback to Ryan Reynolds being in Blade Trinity.
Trinity.
And apparently during filming they didn't get along.
Yeah.
So it's nice that he's actually called him back to be in the film.
Yeah.
What a great moment! That we're here to witness this great moment.
That reveal was amazing.
It felt very special.
Well. It was so Blade.
Yeah.
It was so smooth.
Yeah.
It was so slick. He had the glasses, the hair. Oh my gosh! He never disappoints. And like I said, Blade started this whole thing off. There would be no Marvel Cinematic Universe. There would be no Phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
He started it all.
Backside it is. If there was no Blade, that first film catapulted everything, and now there's been this whole discussion whether it's gonna. You can tell I'm really excited. Blade is also one of my favorite characters. Just the violence as well. God, that sounds really bloodthirsty. But Mahershala Ali is meant to be playing Blade, and they've had so many problems with the production.
He's pulled out now, isn't he?
Well, has he?
Yeah.
No way.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that why Wesley says there's only going to be one Blade?
They filmed it a while ago though, so I don't think like he would have known about this. But I know they lost the most recent director of the film. And I think that's the second director they've lost for the film. But I didn't know Mahershala Ali is actually pulled out.
I think he's pulled out, yeah.
Wow.
Because at one point he was threatening to pull out because he was so unhappy with the script. Jane, I noticed that you're very excited. You've actually moved right away from your microphone.
Oh my God.
I hope people can hear you.
I'm sure they can with my loud voice.
Because you were like this.
Yeah, well, you know me. So either I'm kicking the camera or I'm not by the mic. It's one of the two, innit?
So then it didn't stop there though.
No,
there was more.
It didn't. Okay.
There was more. Now this for me was also a high point.
Okay, it was a high and a low point for me. Go on.
Go on. It was an indifferent point for me because it's a character, so it's been like, yeah, it's cool. But
you're talking about Gambit, right?
Yeah, but what if Gambit runs out of playing cards?
Do they not come back to him?
No, if they blow up, they can't.
They blow up, don't they? You're right. Maybe it's like a Hawkeye situation. He never runs out of arrows, right? Ever.
I feel like the playing card shouldn't be the focus. We need to focus on the accent. What was going on with that?
But apparently he was supposed to have his own Gambit film.
Yes,
and he's got a dialect coach and all that stuff. And remember, because he says, because it goes, we don't know how we got here. And he's like, I was born in the void, which means his project never got to run.
Never got greenlit. Yeah. So like a lot of people don't know this, that Channing Tatum was supposed to play Gambit.
Yeah.
So again, saying this like inside humor, this is really inside humor. You'd only know about this if you follow like the politics and the news of the filmmaking. Yeah. You wouldn't have got that from watching another film.
No.
So his accent was awful, but I think that was deliberate for the comedy.
I agree, because they do make comments about it as well, but it was, for me, not only was it awful, it made it a bit difficult to watch, because I was like, why? I actually quite like Gambit as a character, and I was just like, oh God. But it's fine, because he's very nice to look at, so... Yeah.
What, Channing Tatum?
Hell yeah.
Every time we record a show, like, you've got a different person you're crushing on. How many are there?
I'm sorry.
Is that
a problem? I'm sorry. Is that a problem?
I'm just curious.
You want to file a complaint with HR, do you? What's the issue, fam? People can't have a plethora of crushes?
No problem. I'm sorry I spoke.
Yeah, okay. Moving on.
And then lastly, Emil's like, I'm staying out of this.
Welcome to the triple take. This is how we roll. You ain't coming back. That's your fault.
Lastly, my bad. Lastly, X23.
Yes, and she had the same glasses. She had the same glasses that she took when they went to the petrol station.
Yes.
Nice touch.
Oh my God, I love that. I love that. I really did love that.
I think, did you all know that she was going to be in the film already?
No.
I had no idea about any of the cameos.
Either did I.
Only Wolverine.
I'm pretty sure she was in the trailer.
She might have been, but would you have recognised her straight away from the trailer?
Yeah, I would recognise her because, what's the name of the actor? Daphne, I want to say Daphne Keane. Basically, she plays a character in Star Wars. So she plays a character in Star Wars Acolyte, a really cool character.
Okay.
Jackie.
So but not a cool show.
I've been... Leave the Acolyte alone, man. We're not grading it right now, okay?
You didn't appear on the Acolyte grading show, did you?
Wow! You know what? We did record episodes, but somebody, Michael, decided that I wasn't being positive enough about it.
I don't know what she's talking about. Emma.
Cut it.
No idea what she's talking about.
Seriously, what have I walked into?
You know what? Do you want to call the TVA? Do you want to switch to a different timeline?
A long time ago.
So where was I? Anyway, I would have recognised that actress because I've taken an interest in her of late because she was so good in this Star Wars TV show. But so I don't know why she's in the trailer, but then they left her reveal to last. Like that's the most important reveal. It would have been the most important reveal, I guess, because it links to Wolverine.
Yeah.
If we didn't already know she's in the film, but because we know she's in the film. Yeah. Why are you just showing her boot saving Wolverine and Deadpool from the car? And why are you leaving her to be the last reveal? I didn't really get that. I personally would have left the last reveal to be... Yeah,
it should have been Blade.
Did they not,
you know what? It would have been Blade for
effect.
But I think X-23 was the last reveal because she was the one that persuaded Logan to actually join the quest. Because remember, he wasn't going to do it.
Yeah.
And it was her. And she's like, I'm the wrong guy. And she says, you're always the wrong guy.
Yeah. Because that's meant to be his daughter.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm geeking off is Emil's really studied this film, man. So you saw it twice,
Yeah.
So seeing it in 4D must really imprint on your brain because you're getting it line for line.
And to be fair, it's a bit of a different experience because obviously I know what's coming.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, and plus you know what to look out for as well.
Yeah, and the person I was with was kind of young and they were like, they didn't know who Electra was.
See?
They had to be like, they didn't know. But they were still like, obviously she's a prominent character. Yeah. It didn't really take away from how good the film was.
Of course not, yeah.
And then you look at, and then for instance, and then moving on from that, when they get out of the void, and they send all the other Deadpools after him when Cassandra sends send the Deadpool core, and you see all the different types of Deadpools that he did in the closing sequence of Deadpool 1.
Yeah.
And,
I love that. And then Blake Lively makes an appearance because she's the sexy Paul.
I did not know that they showed the Deadpool core at the end of. Well, I guess I knew, but I don't remember them showing the Deadpool core at the end of it.
It's just all the animations at the end.
Right. Okay.
Just him doing silly things.
I'm gonna need to go back and watch it again. I guess.
Like I watched Logan this week, and I forgot how great that film is. Yeah, I love. I love.
Yeah, Logan was a good film. Actually,
it was a really, really good film.
But you know what? It might have got lost because all the kind of Marvel films around that time were quite good.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
That's
and
true.
then
That was a
after
high point
Endgame, they all died.
Everything died.
Yeah, that was definitely
maybe
Marvel's
Marvel should have
heyday.
put themselves in the void.
Yeah,
maybe they should get Robert Downey Jr. back. Anyway, so
in a different role.
God, I don't know why they've done that. Such a money grab. I'm really not happy about that. But that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah.
Not
Until
happy.
you're 90. You work for Marvel until you're 90.
That was one of the scenes.
And you know what? What I liked about that comment, it's true. I've never seen, apart from Denzel Washington, and that's a whole different discussion, but an actor just embody a comic character for me so much, like how Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman do. No one else can ever play Wolverine as far as I'm concerned. He is Wolverine, the way he walks, the way he talks, the way he moves. Ryan Reynolds has really made Deadpool into who he is. Just like Patrick Stewart, that's Professor X.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? Like these people, and the actor who plays Magneto, who I can't remember at the moment, he's Magneto to me.
Ian McKellen?
Yeah, there you go. Like they've really embodied that. And so that comment of, well, Disney are going to make you work until you're 90. Ain't that true? And that's obviously a comment as well, saying that we're going to continue to see Wolverine as well, I think, throughout the different films that are coming up. I don't know how they're going to do that, but obviously the introduction with the TVA.
Oh, this film's probably going to make like billions, so we'll
this
will get
film
Deadpool
made
Wolverine
nearly $500 million worldwide in its first weekend.
Yeah, because people,
which is crazy, and it's an R-rated film. You can't even take the whole family to this film.
No, but what
and
that
they've still
shows
managed
you-
to take that much ticket sales.
Exactly, but what that shows you is the fact that how large the Marvel fandom is.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And secondly, how desperate they knew by putting Deadpool and Wolverine, people were going to come to the box office.
Definitely.
They were going to do that.
But also their campaign, their promotional campaign
they
has
were on
been
this.
awesome.
Yeah.
They've been
It
on
has.
everything.
They've been on everything, but you know they're trying to make money as well because the amount of sponsorship deals they've had has been ridiculous. I've never seen sponsorship like that before. They had the whole friendship bracelet thing. They were doing beer adverts. They've been on all the talk shows. It felt like a lot of ads going on in that.
Yeah. So back to the film itself, you've got this sequence like a one shot of Deadpool and Wolverine fighting down the street and through a bus.
Yeah.
Like, which seemed to go on forever. Like, such amazing choreography.
Yeah.
Like, they put so much work into that. And it's the scene you're talking about where you're seeing all of the different Deadpools in the Deadpool core. Would you say that was like the best point of the film in terms of choreography? Because I think that was insane.
No, definitely. And I think other plays on that, for instance, when he had the Wrexham, because he owns Wrexham Football Club, he had the Wrexham Deadpool, got to mention that. But also for me, the best bit of that is the very last, and when you see it in 3D as well, the very last scene when they burst through the back of the bus.
Oh yeah, that must look awesome in 3D.
It was, and then he fell over. And he goes, all everyone's going to remember that I fell over. No one's going to remember that whole fight. They're only going to remember that I fell over.
Yeah.
So...
And then they all start regenerating again. I'm like, oh, jeez.
That was intense because we went through this real intense, horrific fight.
Yeah.
And they're walking away and we were like, yeah, okay, that was epic.
Yeah.
And then they start regenerating.
And it's like, how are we going to deal with this?
Yeah.
And then Peter Paul comes along.
Yeah.
And unites all the Deadpools.
Yeah, I love
Who
that.
knew?
Yeah,
Who
I love
knew
that.
he had that power?
I love that stupidity.
Well,
though.
There's another
everyone's
scene
got to have a
where...
Peter.
Sorry, say again?
Everyone has to have a Peter.
Everyone has to have a Peter Paul, yeah. There's a scene where Peter Paul meets... what's her name from the TVA?
Yeah.
God, that was hilarious. The way they were eye-effing was ridiculous.
And then Paradox goes, what is going on?
What is going on? And the whole thing is you feel it in the cinema as well. Like, should we be here right now? Do you guys want a hotel room? Like, you wanna jump into a timeline by yourself and do your thing? That was hilarious. I liked that.
That was very,
cute.
that was a
And I
nice
like
little
that they brought
twist.
that back,
was,
that lady back from the Loki series.
It was nice to have someone from Loki. They brought
Yeah.
something else back from Loki as well that I noticed in that scene. So Cassandra Nova is ending the world.
Yeah.
Did you notice the special effect they used for her ending the world?
Very similar to Loki.
Spaghettification.
Yeah.
Spaghettification, just the same as in Loki.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a nice touch that they actually kept the continuity of this is how a world looks when it's ending.
Yeah.
We've seen this before. We know what this means.
Yeah.
And I know there's going to be a lot of people who haven't seen the Loki series. What are you doing? It's the most amazing series on Disney Plus. Go watch that. But it's nice that they kept that context and that continuity.
I think for me, though, even though I enjoyed the film, I feel like it didn't move us along the phases in Marvel. It just was a standalone film to kind of say, we're back.
And this is how we're incorporating the Fox world into MCU.
It was an integration film now.
Yeah.
So when you do get the Fantastic Four, and you might get an X-Men cameo or whatever in it, now you know why.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't a game changer, though.
And then we have the final scene where Deadpool and Wolverine do save the world. And it's beautiful in the sense that Deadpool is completing his story arc and he's becoming the person he felt he needed to be to reunite himself with his girlfriend. But also we learn the Wolverine has let his own world down.
Yeah.
And he needs to go on a journey. He needs to save the world this time because he's the person who failed his own world that last time. So seeing them both go in there. And before that, I just have to get this in because I'm a big Star Trek fan. There's a moment where Deadpool puts his hand up on the glass, the same as Spock does in The Wrath of Khan. I don't know if it went over everybody's head.
No, he did,
because
he
very
said-
special for me.
Right over my head.
It was very special for me.
Yeah, because remember he said goodbye or Spock or whatever.
Yeah.
And then remember he kept coming back. And then he kept pretending to walk down the stairs.
Okay. That's cute.
It was important to Trekkies.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
You
tick quite a few boxes, don't you, Treacle? You tick Star Trek,
Treacle,
Star Wars, Marvel.
Yeah, I'm a nerd in all quadrants.
I like that.
I'm an all quadrant nerd.
That doesn't come across at all.
No.
At all.
So, Wolverine and Deadpool are saving the world. Special effects, amazing. But very, very important to me as well, he had the mask on.
Yes.
The mask looked
did.
awesome.
It did look awesome.
Why have they never done that before?
I don't know. And I don't
Maybe-
care. It happened.
Yeah, but it looks so cool.
Yeah, it did. It did. I was excited. I hope they kind of make an adult version. I want to buy that.
What? So
You
you've
don't
got
think it's-
blowjob handles.
Blowjob? I'm sorry. That's
Oh, this
not
is where we're
type
going,
of-
okay.
That's
No,
not
that's
what we
what he
do
says
on
in
the
the
show.
film.
I
That's
know.
what he says in
but
the
that's-
film.
we're not-
What did you mean by adult version?
Like, so I could buy one to wear.
Oh, like a grown-up mask.
Right. Oh, right.
Okay,
So-
you lot are just something else. I think this is going to be the first and last time you're on the show. Thanks for coming. Thanks. This is the triple take, everyone. We're going to end it right here.
Thank you for having me.
Okay.
Thank you for joining this adult conversation.
That's what they call it in the film.
Okay.
So, he saves the world. They save the world. Brilliant scene.
So getting cut out.
We're still getting caught out of time. But I have final say.
And then you see them at the end at the party. And okay, at the end of the party, X-23 was there.
Yeah.
Right. So like, I thought she died when they were fighting Cassandra Nova in the Void.
Yeah.
I thought they all got eaten up by a life.
Maybe it's a different X-23 from that timeline.
That's what I was thinking, a different timeline. That's what I was thinking.
Right. Okay. So there's not like a different timeline where Blade has returned and a different timeline where, Elektra's returned.
Yeah.
It
Okay,
could be.
cool. I get it.
But remember, anything's possible with the TVA, right?
And they could have taken him out of the void and brought him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, but they didn't get eaten by a life?
We
Apparently
don't know
not.
because we didn't really see it.
We
We
didn't
just
see,
saw
they
something
jumped.
coming
Jump.
in.
Yeah,
And we saw them
they
jump.
jumped through the portal first.
Yeah.
that
Oh,
makes
which I
sense.
loved because we saw the sling ring. Sorry.
Yeah.
Second favourite character, Loki, Doctor Strange, then Blade.
So they had a Doctor Strange reference and a Loki
Yeah, yeah,
reference.
yeah.
For you. You're sorted.
Yeah, I know. I was happy. Well, yeah, but they ticked your boxes as well.
They had Star Trek references. I was happy.
Yeah, and the lady from that terrible show was in the film.
We're just gonna keep doing this.
All day, every day.
You're like Captain America.
That's how
I
you,
can do
that's
this
how you
all
shut
day.
up a Star Wars fan, everybody. Welcome to the Jane Show. Thanks, guys, for joining me.
So
Speechless.
on that lovely note,
Yeah.
I think we've covered the whole film. Unless anybody's got any closing points they want to talk about, which
no,
I've
this
missed.
podcast was longer than the film.
Don't try it.
was.
Don't try
Actually was.
it.
But no, amazing film. So what would you guys rate it anyway?
What are we doing? 5, 10, 100?
It's up to you.
Okay, well, for me, it would be an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay, for me, I'd say 9 out of 10.
I'm going to go with, also a 9, because I would have given it 10 if it hadn't had that ugly dog licking his mouth.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think, for me, why I've given it 8.5 is the dog. The pacing at sometimes was slow.
Slow in the middle, right?
Right,
Yeah.
slow in the middle. And then thirdly, the stakes weren't high enough for me. I don't think they leaned into the stakes.
The end of the world isn't enough at stake for you.
But they
Oblivion.
did. Wow, okay.
But it didn't-
Fine.
but you know-
Everyone is allowed an opinion. This is a democracy, not a
your
dictatorship.
opinion is valid.
Thank
Yes.
you. And I'm always right. I feel like you normally agree with me when it comes to rating films, and just because your friend is here, you're showing off
Here's my
and
mates
agreeing with
here,
him. Yeah, your little friends here,
Your little
innit?
friends
Your
here.
little brethren is
Your
here, so you're
friends
trying to
here,
you're trying to show off.
Yeah.
Remember, this is the Michael and Jane show. Right,
The Michael and Jane show, because normally yours it's the Jane and Michael show.
Well,
so
that's
I'm
alphabetically
glad that
correct.
you realise now that it's the Michael and Jane show.
You know what?
So,
A good leader lets other people lead.
Is it all right if I go now?
so we're finishing up now. Thank you for
Because it's hot as well.
Yeah, it is hot in here. Thank you for joining us. This has been a triple take. This has been our review of Deadpool and Wolverine. Thank you for joining us. I said that already. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.